Welcome in, everybody. Ty Bartell in with another edition of Coach's Corner. This time we head up to the NAC, home of the Ashtabula St. John Fighting Heralds. Girls basketball head coach Nick Iarocci joining me today. Coach, how are we doing, first and foremost?
Oh, we're going very good, Ty. Thank you for having me on this Monday morning. Normally, I'd be in my St. John apparel, but we all know what week this is, so I'm going to have to sport this shirt today. I know there's probably mixed emotions out there, but it's okay. It's a fun week, and thank you for having me, Ty.
I'll never discredit the OSU gear you're wearing or sporting for this one, Coach. But I do want to talk a little bit about this St. John squad, and I like to talk about practices right now because that's what's going on. Season starts this week, so it's well for some teams it starts this week, but officially starts this week for some teams. So it's rapidly approaching for all squads, no doubt. What are practices looking like? What are some positives you take away from the practices right now?
Practices have been fantastic. Usually, we're a really big volleyball school, and a lot of times the volleyball team goes real far, and I'm real behind, so we don't play that first week. But ironically enough, I only have three volleyball players that are currently on the basketball team, so we've been able to get after it right from day one. And practices have been incredible. We're trying to put a new system in. We're not real big, but we're very athletic, and we're going to try to trap and just kind of, we call it controlled chaos. That's kind of the way we want to play basketball this year. I have this group of girls that the less they think, the better they are. And it probably says a lot about a lot of today's athlete, just putting them in space and letting them perform. And that's kind of what we're looking to do, Ty.
Well, Coach, without further ado, why don't we take it a step further and meet some of these names we can expect? Maybe the roster's not finalized just yet, but what are some names we can expect to see on this Herald squad this year?
Well, like I said, we kind of got a mix up of we're young and old at the same time, if that's mathematically possible. But we have no juniors and only two freshmen. We're mostly sophomore and senior laden. So we'll start off with our three amazing seniors. They're all going to be four-year letter winners. And have a start off with Alyssa Severa. Alyssa's in the conversation for Player of the Year every year. She's an incredible athlete. She's probably going to go over 1,000 points this year. Me and her both agreed we will not talk about it till she gets to 990. So we'll just put that on the DL a little bit. But yeah, she's phenomenal. And then her running mate, excuse me, is Grace DeSalvador. Grace, our zone breaker. She's a great shooter, great leader. She is one of the cerebral kids on the team that kind of knows where everybody's supposed to be. She's our quarterback out there. And then our last senior would be Olivia Esposito. Olivia's a post player. And although she's a post player, she, like everybody else on St. John, shoots the three. We learned from day one, if you don't shoot the three, you should probably join another team. It's kind of what we build our squad around.
Let's take a look a little bit at this conference too. Full of some smaller schools, but no doubt always competitive. It seems like year in and year out amongst those schools too. What do you see out of the NAC this year? What do you see from conference competition around you this year?
Oh, no question. The NAC's a really, really competitive small conference for basketball and for every sport. This will be our second year in it. We're super excited to be a member. Again, Pymatuming, Maplewood, they're always on top. Southington, Wyndham, every one of them on every night, like any conference in America, going on the road on a weeknight, trying to win a basketball game is always difficult, going against their fan base. So it's really fun to be in this conference. And what we've accomplished now is we're able to play the county schools in our non-league games. So we really love the way our schedule plays out. Play all the D4 schools in our conference, and we get to play the county schools for mall bragging rights, as we like to call it, in our independent schedule. So we're really excited about that.
I was going to talk about that, and I've been talking to a lot of the Ashtabula County schools that are partnered with YSN about it because I know it's an exciting time to get back into the county with a lot of these games and have a lot of those local rivalries renewed, have a lot of fans, local fans at these venues. How excited are you? I mean, you talked a little bit about it, but I got to imagine it's exciting for you. It's got to be exciting for the girls as well to bring those local matchups back pretty much the whole schedule now.
Yeah, no question, Ty. And for those of us over a certain age, we grew up with the NEC, which was all the county schools, and we always played each other. And like Riverside and stuff would be like your farthest trip. Now that seems to be almost like your closest trip. So what has happened over the last couple of years? We have not made a county conference, but we got as close as we possibly can. The entire county encompasses two conferences. The CVC would cover all of them, and then us, PV, and GV are in the NAC, GV joining next year. So it's not quite a county conference, but it's as close as we possibly can get. And yes, the girls love playing in conference games, but we really love playing against our county rivals.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about the strengths you're going to need to play to with this team to get wins. Like you told me a little bit before we started this interview, you do have that interesting mix of the older players and the younger players too. What kind of interesting challenges and what kind of opportunities does that present to you and your coaching staff with having that unique blend of players?
Oh, great question, Ty. I have mad respect for pro and college sports. That they forgot more than I'll ever know. But one thing I've always known about pro and college sports, you're going to recruit and draft to fit your system. High school doesn't work that way. High school, you're not sure what your hand you're going to be dealt. So I really pride myself on trying to adjust my system, excluding the three, of course. But everything else we do, I try to adjust to the type of talent we have. We're not real big. We don't have any real big post players, so we're small and athletic. So again, we decided our motto is CC, controlled chaos. We're going to run all over the floor. We're going to trap in every spot we possibly can. We're going to spread the floor, and we're going to try to highlight our athleticism, our toughness, and just that wide open style of basketball. And I think the kids really enjoy playing that style too.
I think that I enjoy watching it. I know too the organized chaos or controlled chaos, like you call it too. I'm excited to see what St. John brings to the table this season. Coach, I also know building this program, getting this program to the level you want it to, you can't do it on your own. You need a good group of assistants around you. You need a good staff to build this program. What's that staff look like for the Heralds this year?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ty. Thank you for pointing that out. And yeah, my right hand guy, Tony Martino, he's my paisan, my cousin, my cousine. He's been with me for 14 years. He handles my defense for me. And we've been through a lot together. And now we've added Les Anderson. He's in his mid 30s, a little bit of youth. He works on all the cardio and all of our out of bounds plays. And I really, really enjoy being around them and around the girls. And again, we didn't get to talk about the sophomores real quick. But our sophomore group, I told them a couple days ago, I have 9 sophomores that they arguably could be the best female girls class ever to come out of St. John in all three sports. They're an incredible group. But yes, I love my assistants, and we enjoy being around each other.
For all those St. John fans that are maybe on the fence of coming out and catching some games this year, what kind of a brand of basketball? You talked about you guys are going to run the floor, this kind of controlled chaos, right? But what kind of a brand of basketball can we expect to see from St. John this year?
Ty, I've been around basketball my whole life. I'm 63 years old. I grew up with the Knicks, and everybody touches the ball 5 passes before you shoot. And I look at the way basketball was played back there with no 3 point line. And if you were watching a film and you paused it, literally all 10 people would be within the 10 point line. So basketball was very physical back then. There just wasn't a lot of space. The way the game has changed now is you'll do that same view and you'll hit pause and there won't be one single player inside the 3 point line. So what has happened is we're putting players in space and we're letting them perform. uh, I know a lot of people like the old style, a lot of people like the new style, but at the end of the day, there ain't many things in our world that hasn't changed. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worse, but you got to get on board and you got to roll with the changes. And that's what we've done. We spread the floor, we shoot the three, we're all about volume. We don't have a shot clock in Ohio. I wish we did. But to be honest with you, Ty, if we had a 10-second shot clock, we probably would never violate that. I'm about volume, getting off as many shots as we can, and just playing that style of basketball, just kind of making it fun for the kids.
Again, Coach, I'm so excited to see what you guys have in store this season, too. I think there's a lot of excitement and a lot of unknown swirling around your squad. I'm curious, though. I mean, you talked about the longevity you've had in this position of coaching, too. What brings you back? What keeps you coming back each and every year? What keeps you coming back to the Heralds each and every year?
Great question, Ty. And everybody says kids have changed from the old days. And from my own personal opinion, I don't necessarily know if that's true. Hear me out. Let me defend my thing here. Um, Obviously, outside of the gym, there's a lot of outside noise, a lot of distractions, a lot of things they have to deal with that we didn't. But when you close the doors and you're practicing for 2 hours, they're exactly the same. Nothing has changed. I could close my eyes and I think I'm coaching back in the late 90s or playing in the 70s. So to answer your question, what brings me back? I'm also the athletic director. Probably the best part of my day is the 2 hours in the gym. It's as good as it gets.
Well, Coach, my final question for you today, and it's kind of a theme I'm asking all head coaches this year, and it goes back to that love of the game of basketball. It's kind of what got us started in all of our starts, no matter where it was, and it's what keeps us going too. Whether we're the coach, the player, the announcer, the referee, it doesn't matter. We all love the sport. That's why we keep coming back to it. Where'd the love of the sport of basketball begin for you, Coach? Do you have an earliest memory, a pinpoint moment, or
1000%. Yeah. And I was just thinking about it the other day. 1970, 71, the Cavs had just got a team. I remember it so well. Walt Wesley made a basket on the wrong hoop. And I was a really big fan of the New York Knicks. That would have been Walt Frazier, Earl Monroe, Dave DeBusschere, Bill Bradley, Willis Reed. I fell in love with basketball then. And in my neighborhood, they built a basketball court. And walking over there, carrying the basketball in my hand, wearing my Chuck Taylor Converse, playing basketball with the older guys, it was as good as it get. I get emotional just thinking about it. So yeah, basketball is just kind of like a way of life for me, and I love playing basketball. I love being a fan of it. And thank you for the question.
well, Coach, we love having the St. John Fighting Heralds a part of the YSN family. We're excited to have continued coverage of Ashtabula St. John, both boys and girls basketball this season. We're rooting for you here at the network. We wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you, Ty. And again, I know you guys don't get paid big amounts of money. You guys just do it for your passion and for the love of the game, and for most importantly, for putting the kids first. And it's awesome what you guys do at YSN. Thank you.
Well, Coach, we thank you for being a part of it too, and being a part of this family for another year to come. This has been a first edition of Coach's Corner with the Ashtabula St. John girls basketball skipper, Nick Iarocci.